I chose to do my project over the eradication of infectious diseases. The history of eradication of infectious diseases starts off with the disease of smallpox. Smallpox was eradicated in the year 1980. Polio was eliminated in the United States in 1979. The last person to have smallpox was in Somalia in 1977. Smallpox only affects humans because there is no animal reservoir, meaning that only humans can contract smallpox. If there was an animal reservoir, that means animals could contract the disease as well, and it would make it harder to eradicate. The process of eradication of diseases has multiple steps. The first step, an effective intervention must be available to interrupt the transmission of the disease. The second part, practical diagnostic tools with sufficient sensitivity and specificity must be available to detect levels of infection that can lead to transmission. The third step, humans must be the only host of the agent. Animal reservoirs significantly complicate the eradication process. Smallpox is a virus. It starts out with a high fever, aches, and maybe vomiting. A rash begins to appear on the tongue and quickly spreads throughout the whole body within 24 hours. The rash will begin to fill with pus and they will scab over. After 3 weeks, after the rash appears, the scabs will begin to fall off. And after 4 weeks, the scabs will be completely off and you will be cured from the disease. This part of the video explains how smallpox was eradicated. Smallpox was eradicated by the CDC going into areas where smallpox was prevalent. These areas were surveilled heavily, and they quickly identified new smallpox cases so new ones did not arise. Anyone suspected of having smallpox or having contact with someone who had smallpox was tracked down and given a vaccination. This was so other cases did not arise and infect other people. Surviving smallpox gives a person natural, lifelong immunity from the disease. This is a picture of the smallpox rash. As you can see, the bumps are raised on the person's body, they are filled with pus, and they are surrounding his entire body. They are mainly located on the face because that's where they originated. They originated from the tongue, and then they spread from there to the whole body. This part of the video goes over eradication failures. There have been many eradication failures over the years. Malaria being one of them failed because there was no vaccine and a person can contract malaria more than once after having the disease. Second, polio. There are no easily seen symptoms, but in the recent years, we are getting closer to eradication. And third, yellow fever. It failed because there are animal reservoirs, meaning that animals can contract the disease, and once it is eliminated from humans, and then the animals still have it, it can go back to the humans. Now I'm going to go over polio. Polio, like smallpox, is a virus. Most people who get infected with polio virus will not have any visible symptoms that are easily seen by other people. This is usually about 72 out of 100. Most people with poliovirus will experience flu-like symptoms. A smaller proportion of people with poliovirus infection will develop other more serious symptoms that affect the brain and spinal cord. This is usually paralysis. Paralysis means a person is not able to move certain muscles that cause them to be paralyzed. Poliomyelitis, or polio for short, is defined as the paralytic disease. So only the people with the paralytic infection are considered to have the disease. Polio, again, is a very contagious disease and it is contracted person to person. In conclusion, the eradication of infectious diseases is very difficult. Polio in a few years, according to the World Health Organization, will be considered eradicated because of the fewer and fewer cases there have been each year. Smallpox has been eradicated since the 1980s. Animal reservoirs make it more difficult to eradicate a disease because they are also contracted in animals as well as humans. This is why some diseases have not been eradicated, like yellow fever because of the animal reservoir in monkeys. While working on this project, these are the many sources that I chose to present the information. Thank you for watching my video project over the eradication of infectious diseases. Be sure to leave any comments or questions that you may have in the comment box. Thank you again for watching.